Hey guys, this is Brian Johnson with DomainParkingMoney.net, and I got a reader question. If you've got questions, if you're interested in domaining or internet marketing, or maybe you read something about a script or how great it is to use WordPress if you're a domainer and you've got a question, leave it on my blog at DomainParkingMoney.net and I'll get back to you. Today's question is really focusing on appraisals, domain valuation. What's the value of your domain name? So the most important thing with that aspect that I've kind of learned over the last 3-6 months is really it's not about how much is your domain worth, it's how much is the right person or company willing to spend to own that domain name. Obviously, if you've got a domain name, a great name, it's a .com, maybe it's a short two-word phrase like sportscars.com. Dang, that would be a great domain for an auto dealer that loves to sell. Maybe he sells sports cars. Maybe he owns a Porsche dealership in New York. Sportscars.com would really be an asset for that type of a business. So how much is your domain worth to the right person or business? That's what it's really all about. Now, it starts to break down a bit when you start talking about maybe 3-word domains, domains that are maybe a .us or a I own a .be. I think it's a great domain, christmasdecorations.be. It's got the great word that is searched for frickin' thousands of times in the holiday season, and it's already making me money weeks after being online, but it's a .be. What the heck's BE? People don't even know. So it's probably not worth, the $1 million I'd like to make with it. Now, if I had christmasdecorations.com, that's a whole other different ballgame. The one thing you need to understand is that there's basically 2 roads to approach. There's the quick flip, where you buy a domain and you work hard, and you go and you post your domain on a bunch of message boards, and you list your domain at CDU, and you list your domain at some of the other second domain, Afternic, I guess is the other big one. Or you take more my approach, which is I've got a bunch of domains, and if someone's going to offer me some money, great. I'm not going to work too hard because they're making me money anyway. If a domain can pay for itself, I'm in no hurry to sell it. That's about it. If I can make 50 cents a month with the domain, it's paying for itself. Cool. I own a domain, and one day someone might offer me $500 for it. That's my mentality. Slow. I'm not going to work really hard. I'll let people find me. If someone finds me, they're probably a lot more excited about buying it than if I try to beat down someone's door. If I'm posting on forums and putting the idea in other people's heads, they're probably not going to be as passionate about buying it. So, are you going to actively try to flip your domain, or are you going to take the slow approach and try to get a little bit more money for your domain? I want to leave you with one thought, and that is if you're at the stage where you're trying to sell domains, if you're searching the internet for how to value a domain, or how much is my domain worth, or you're trying to get appraisals, then you're probably at the later stages of the cycle. And by this time, I hope you have your business plan in place. I hope you've got a formula for how you decide what kind of domain names you buy. It's easy to get excited and just decide you want to buy anything. When I started buying expired domains, I bought CelineSmiles.com. What the heck? I paid like $250 for a domain about Celine Dion. Now, I love music. You can see all the CDs over there. I've got like 300 or 400 CDs. I listen to music all day. I could give a hoot about Celine Dion. And sure, she's got her show in Vegas. I guess I was thinking about that. But it's probably not the best domain name for me. My formula is domains that are focused on product sales. Products that are primarily available through eBay. So I've got a lot of products to cover, and there's a lot of great available domain names. And my thought is, why don't I pick up domains based on keyword searches and then basically develop domains slowly and continue to add more and more domains and actual functioning websites that basically send people to eBay. So that's my formula, and I'm making pretty decent money, but you need to come up with your domain formula. You need to know why you're buying this domain. How are you going to use it? What if it doesn't sell? What is your backup plan? Okay, and then you need to know, well, how are you going to sell it? Are you going to list it on Sea-Doo? Are you going to build a website yourself and try to drive people to your site and get offers for your site? How are you going to sell your domain name? And the third step is, what are you going to do with your domains in between? You know, there's the buying and then there's the selling, but there's space in between. And sometimes the space is short and it's a couple weeks, and you flip it and you make some money quick, and maybe you take $100 investment and sell it for $2 and you're happy because you made $100 and maybe a couple hours of work. Or maybe you're going to buy a domain for $3,000 and it's going to take 2 years to sell, but you're going to sell it for $40,000 and you're going to make a lot of money. But you're going to have to wait this long. You have to wait a real long time. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Are you going to park the domain? Are you going to create a mini site? Are you going to hire out, have someone write articles and post them to your WordPress blog? And then basically add an additional valuable asset to your domain? What are you going to do in between the buying process and the selling process? You should have this all figured out. If you're actively trying to sell, then you should know what's going to happen if selling doesn't work. So domain valuation, how much is your domain worth? Some other things to think about. Take your domain name, go to GoDaddy, go to Moniker, and basically put in your domain name, take away the extension, and see what other domains are available. If you've got domain parking money, that's my domain, .net. Put that in GoDaddy and see what other domains are available. If they're all available, you don't have a real valuable domain, because there's just a lot of stuff available that people can pay, you know, $9 to $10 for a year, and rather than buying your great domain for $100 or $500 or whatever. So that's one way to tell. Another thing to think about is, how long has your domain been registered? If it's been registered for 5 years, it's more valuable than if you registered it a week ago. Another thing, is your domain listed in Yahoo? Is it an expired domain that you picked up and maybe it's listed in Yahoo? More valuable. It's got better potential for traffic. Really, the bottom line in all this internet marketing stuff, and really that's what it is. We're not talking domaining, we're talking internet marketing, is traffic. If you've got a domain asset that's going to be able to drive more traffic, it's worth more. Take care, guys. Brian Johnson. Visit my site, Domain Parking Money, and if you've got questions, just leave a comment. Take care.